What kind of communication did you have with your family during deployment?
Most of the deployments is phone conversation until recently. This past deployment I got to use Skype a lot, so I was able to video teleconference with my wife in Morgan. And that was really good, but sometimes it made it harder too, seeing them all the time. And not only that, but the internet connection that we had over there wasn't the greatest, so it was frustrating sometimes because you'd get time to go Skype and you'd sit down and you'd plan a time and the internet was so spotty that Skype would break down and not work. So sometimes it was just easier to call, and Jess and I usually did it once a week because it was kind of hard if you stayed too much in contact. It made it harder to be away. Sometimes you just have to focus in on the job, and you know that you're going to be gone for a set period of time and you're coming home and just getting through that. So it was easier just to have a scheduled time once a week for us to talk.
What kind of activities did you do during your time off during deployment?
Surfing the internet this recently, trying to Skype when I can, working out. I worked out 2 hours a day when I was over there. Air Force is big on getting into shape and getting everyone healthier, and so I kind of focused in on that. They also had a movie theater there, so I went in and watched a movie about once or twice a week. They brought in performers for us, so getting to see someone famous every once in a while for free, that was enjoyable. And then of course eating, going to the chow hall and everything. That would be the times that I spent away from the war.
What is the goal of Operation Enduring Freedom?
Operation Enduring Freedom is to ensure that America is staying safe from terrorists. So Enduring Freedom is any activities inside the United States and outside the United States that is protecting us from future terrorist attacks. So it's taking the war to the enemy is how the Air Force describes it. So Enduring Freedom is making sure that the freedom that is protected here in the United States, because we're overseas fighting and taking the war to the terrorists where they live and everything, and making sure that they don't have a chance to organize and ever invoke another 9/11 onto this country.
Please describe your most recent deployment with the 379 Expeditionary Air Medical Evacuation Squadron.
I was deployed with the Air Evac Command Cell there at 379th. It was in the Middle East there. I was deployed for 120 days. We were there for a little bit longer than that. Until you got your transportation in and out is about 134 days that I was actually in the country there. It was a very good experience. I always say that deployments are all about the people you're deployed with, and I was deployed with a very good, intelligent group this time. I went with my home station commander. He was my commander over there. And I was the unit deployment manager, so I was in charge of getting everyone in and out. I helped us get over there, and then once over there I helped get all the other units that we had assigned into our country, and I also was in charge of getting them home as well. So I was very busy the entire time cycling people in and out, but I did enjoy my job. It was just hard being away from my family.
What was it like being part of the 775 Expeditionary Air Medical Evacuation Flight?
There I was the duty controller. I was the senior duty controller at that location. That was Andrews Air Force Base. And there at Andrews, we moved a lot of patients. It's the second largest hub for air evac in the entire world, next to Germany. So every single patient that is injured overseas that is stationed in the United States comes back through Andrews. And you see everything from the major injuries to the little injuries to mental injuries. They all come through Andrews. Mainly the ones that really stick out in your head are the injured soldiers that have been seriously injured and are going to Walter Reed or Bethesda Medical Center there in the DC area. But as a duty controller, I wasn't out on the flight line too much. I was more planning the missions, mission paperwork, planning for crews coming in and out of that location, working with the front end and the command post there. So, and also being the senior duty controller, I was in charge of the other duty controllers at that location.
Please describe what you did.
I kind of went into it a little bit. So every single mission, air evac mission, comes with their mission paperwork. It includes the patient paperwork, where their stops are going to be, how long they're going to be at that stop, what they're going to do with those patients, who do they transport. They might be handing them off to a civilian hospital or an ambulance, or they might be dropping them off at another military installation. It also has all the patient's injuries, what they might be experiencing, what kind of medications they are. I kind of gather all of that information into a system, from a system called Traces. And then I'm also in charge of tracking the actual mission, the flight. So, and that's in the GDSS2 system, so tracking all those missions and working out what times those missions are going to take off, alerting our crews, telling them what time they're going to be taking off, who they're going to be working with, how long their flight is, how many hops they're having. And so you're constantly coordinating. You're kind of like a middleman between the front end and your crew, making sure that it's a smooth transition, making it as easy on the crew as possible, and making it as easy on the patient as possible.
Please explain what you did with the 167th Air Medical Evacuation Squadron.
That's my home station, Airvac. I've been with them for a little over 12 years now. That's the unit I enlisted in initially out of high school. They're stationed out of Martinsburg, West Virginia. When I first joined, they were a C-130 unit. Now they're a C-5 unit. There, I've worked my rank up from E1 up to E6 now, and I was just selected as the officer that's going to be going up into the medical clinic there. So I have a lot of experience with the 167th. Right now, I'm currently the NCOIC in charge of the orderly room, and also I'm the functional area training manager. So I'm in charge of the training plans for all the medical admin for that section, and also I'm in charge of all the documentation that the orderly room is charged with throughout the year, making sure that gets done, and for the people that work underneath me, making sure that they're staying on task wherever they might be assigned.
Can you elaborate a little bit on your first time with Operation Enduring Freedom with the 375th?
The first time I was with the 375th, I was at a command cell out of Andrews Air Force Base. The P stands for provisional, so it was a provisional because it was a deployed unit for Operation Enduring Freedom, but the 375th is an actual unit out of Scott Air Force Base. So we were the provisional that was kind of detached away from them, that was deployed. So we answered back into the 375th, and we were part of the 375th, but we were separate from them. It was kind of like they just kind of split us away a little bit. So my experience there was I was in the command cell there, and I was the chief of all administrative functions. So we had 3 locations: the Andrews Air Medical Evacuation Operation Team, the one out in Scott Air Force Base, and the one at Travis. And all their medical admin would report back into me. They would give me their situational reports every single day, and I would roll up reports weekly to TACC, which is a group at Scott Air Force Base that monitors all AirVac mission assignments and tracking for the entire world. So I rolled all those reports up for them for oversight, and so they could plan in the future how many people needed to be deployed and what assets they needed out in the field. So also with that job, I got to travel around to those 3 locations and kind of stop in there, and so it was kind of fun getting to see what each location did and my involvement with each.
Describe your actions in the event of you coming home.
Coming home is always, each time has been a little bit different. The first time I came home, I was single, so it wasn't a big deal. It was kind of filtering right back into normal life. I came back to my parents' house. The second time I was deployed, I had just recently been married, so that was trying to get adjusted back to my wife and everything. So prepping for that was, making sure that I got adjusted to being a husband again, and it's not like I wasn't a husband while I was gone, but it's different when you actually live with someone. And then the third time was coming home to my wife and a newborn. So that was a big adjustment, going from working 6 days a week and working 12-hour days and focusing really on me, to coming home to a family that needed me to help provide emotionally, spiritually, financially again. So getting myself mentally prepared for that, and mentally prepared to not just worry about me, but worry about others as well. So each time has had a little bit different mental preparedness to get ready to come home, but I've adjusted pretty well in all 3 cases.
How long do you plan on serving?
Right now I have a little over 12 years, and since I just got this officer position, I have to have at least 10 more years to retire as an officer. So I'll be in at least 10 more years. So until I get through my training and everything, we're probably looking at least 23 years I'll probably have in before I'm even thinking about retiring. So I'll serve. I'm what you call a lifer, so I'm in until I retire.
Will you be deployed again?
Chances are pretty good that I'll get deployed again. If I stayed in AirVac, which I'm not now because I got this new position, I would probably be deploying here in another 15 months. With my new position and with the training, I'm not sure when the next time I will deploy is, but the chances are pretty good that I'll deploy at some point.
Can you describe this new position a little bit?
The new position is it's a medical service corps officer. I'll be in charge of medical readiness and e-meds. So it's a little bit different than AeroVac. It's more of taking care of patients while they're on the ground and if there's emergencies. And medical readiness is the planning part of that, making sure that that squadron, that medical group is prepared in case there is a bomb that hits or if there's some kind of big medical emergency, that we have a plan in place to help those patients, get a way to evac those patients. And I think I'll have a lot of interaction with AeroVac because I come from an AeroVac background, and where I'm going, the medical group is kind of weak in that area. So I think I'll kind of be the liaison. There's a package there called the Massive. It's a mobile air staging facility. And what they do is they take those injured patients that happen on the front lines and they keep them staged there until there's a flight ready for them to take off. So it's kind of like a holding area. And that's where I think that I'll really fit into this medical group, is in this Massive package. And I'll teach them how to use the traces and GDSS2 systems that I've used in the past. Have
you had any contact with the men and women you worked with during deployment?
I have. There's one guy that I really stay in touch with. His name is Captain Jeremy Browning. He's our comm officer of this last rotation, the one I did with the 379th. I'm an IT specialist on the outside. That's my civilian job with the Department of Veterans Affairs. He comes from an IT background, so him and I had a lot in common. So I talked to him on a professional level, but because we had so many similarities, same kind of sense of humor, same kind of upbringing, we hit it off pretty good as friends and everything, and someone I would probably stay in contact with for a long time.
How did your experiences with deployment affect your life coming home?
My experiences with deployment, while you're gone and everything, you learn to appreciate little things. Good meals, having a bathroom close by. And so what it does is it really gets you to mentally think about the things that you worry about and the things you get upset about at home. To stop worrying, stop getting upset about the real little things in life and really enjoy and take advantage of what we have here in America. So the deployments have really put a value on the small things in life, and it's allowed me to not lose my temper and get upset over the little things that I used to.
What life lessons did you learn that were very important to you?
Value of family, value of, like I said before, the small things here in life, the things that we have as Americans that we probably should take advantage of more, and really, just the right to religion. While I was over in the Middle East, they said they had freedom of religion, but they don't. They have, the Muslim religion is it, basically, and you get persecuted otherwise. So having that freedom of religion here in the United States, of practicing what you want and being able to go to church and being able to do and say and practice what you want to practice is a real treat here, real freedom of speech. These are all things that you need to take advantage of as being an American.
Please describe the awards that you have received for your service.
I've received several awards, including one that's kind of pending right now, which would be one of my largest accomplishments, and that's the Air Force Commendation Medal. So there's a package in. It has not been officially approved and signed yet, but a package was submitted on my last rotation. Also, the Global War on Terrorism medal, the Expeditionary Global War on Terrorism, the Expeditionary Deployed medal, the one where I was activated for being a civilian Air National Guard member into an active duty billet. I've won the Air Force Achievement Medal. I have a bunch. I can't go through them all on my head right now, but you know, it's not. I don't do my job for the medals or anything. The recognition is nice and it's appreciated, but you know, you do it for the people around you, and in my career field, you do it for the patients that you serve and everything. And the awards and stuff that come with it, those are nice and they're just tacked on, but it's the feeling of doing a good job is the true reward.